Here's something that might shock you. Buying a house could be the worst financial decision you make in your first 7 years of ownership. I know that sounds crazy because we've been told our entire lives that homeownership is the ultimate American dream, the golden ticket to building wealth. But what if I told you that for most people, this dream becomes a financial nightmare that traps them in a cycle they never saw coming? Today, we're going to shatter one of the biggest myths about money and reveal why the 7-year rule exists, why it matters more than you think, and how understanding this could save you from making a decision that destroys your financial future before it even begins. Picture this scenario. You're 28 years old. You've saved up $20,000 for a down payment, and everyone around you is saying it's time to buy. Your parents are proud, your friends are impressed, and society is patting you on the back for being responsible. But here's what nobody tells you about those first 7 years. The moment you sign those papers, you've just committed to what I call the wealth destruction phase. This isn't some conspiracy theory. This is basic math that the real estate industry hopes you never figure out. In your first year of homeownership, roughly 90% of your mortgage payment goes straight to interest. Not equity, not building wealth, pure interest that disappears forever. Let's break down what this actually looks like with real numbers. Say you buy a $300,000 house with that $20,000 down payment. Your monthly payment ends up being around $1,800, including taxes and insurance. In year one, you'll pay about $21,600 total, but only about $2,000 of that goes toward actually owning more of your house. The rest vanishes into thin air. But wait, it gets worse. Remember that down payment you saved so hard for? That $20,000 is now completely illiquid. You can't touch it, you can't invest it, and if property values drop even slightly, it could disappear entirely. Meanwhile, if you had invested that same $20,000 in a simple index fund earning 7% annually, it would be worth over $31,000 after 7 years without you lifting a finger. Now here's where the hidden costs start destroying your wealth even faster. Nobody talks about the maintenance monster that comes with homeownership. Financial experts recommend budgeting 1 to 3% of your home's value annually for maintenance and repairs. On that $300,000 house, that's $3,000 to $9,000 every single year that you'll never get back. Your water heater dies in year 2. There goes $3,000. The roof needs work in year 4. Another $8,000 vanishes. The HVAC system gives out in year 6. Goodbye to $5,000 more. These aren't luxuries or upgrades. These are basic necessities just to keep your house functioning. And unlike rent, which covers all of this, every single repair comes straight out of your pocket. But the real wealth killer is what economists call opportunity cost. While you're trapped paying that $1,800 mortgage, dealing with repairs, and watching most of your payment disappear to interest, what could you have done instead? If you had rented a similar place for $1,400 and invested the $400 difference plus that $20,000 down payment, you'd be looking at significantly more wealth after 7 years. Here's the psychological trap that keeps people from seeing this clearly. We've been conditioned to think that paying rent is throwing money away, but somehow paying interest to a bank is building wealth. Both rent and mortgage interest disappear forever, but at least with rent, someone else deals with the broken pipes at 3 in the morning. The 7-year threshold exists because that's roughly when the math finally starts working in your favor. By year 7, enough of your mortgage payment is going toward principal that you're actually building meaningful equity. The initial transaction costs have been spread out long enough that they're not crushing your returns. And if you've been lucky enough to avoid major repairs or market downturns, you might finally be ahead of where you would have been renting and investing. But here's the brutal reality. Most people don't make it to year 7. The average homeowner moves every 5 to 7 years, which means they're selling right at the worst possible time financially. When you sell before that 7-year mark, you're hit with realtor commissions, transfer taxes, and all those closing costs again. It's like paying to get into the casino, losing money at the tables, and then paying again just to leave. Let me share what happened to my friend Sarah. She bought her first house in 2019, convinced she was making a smart financial move. 3 years later, she got a job offer in another city. After paying all the selling costs and realizing how little equity she'd actually built, she walked away with less money than if she just kept her down payment in a savings account earning 2%. 3 years of homeownership, and she was actually poorer than when she started. The real estate industry has spent billions of dollars convincing us that renting is for losers and buying is for winners. They've created this narrative that if you're not building equity, you're failing at life. But what they don't want you to realize is that building equity slowly while paying massive amounts of interest isn't the wealth building strategy they pretend it is. Consider this. If building equity was such an amazing investment, why do banks require you to pay private mortgage insurance when you put down less than 20%? It's because they know that in the early years of homeownership, you're extremely unlikely to build enough equity to protect their investment. They're basically betting against you building wealth quickly. The 7-year rule isn't just about mathematics, it's about freedom. When you tie up all your cash in a down payment and commit to a 30-year mortgage, you're giving up the flexibility to take risks, change careers, or pursue opportunities. You become what I call house poor, where you might own an asset on paper, but you have no liquid wealth to actually improve your life. There's also the hidden tax burden that nobody warns you about. Property taxes continue rising every year, regardless of whether your income keeps pace. In many areas, property taxes alone can eat up thousands of dollars annually. Add homeowners insurance, HOA fees, and all the other costs of ownership, and suddenly that affordable mortgage payment becomes a financial burden. Here's what I wish someone had told me before I bought my first house. Homeownership isn't an investment, it's a lifestyle choice. If you're buying because you love the house, want stability, or need space for your family, those are valid reasons. But if you're buying because you think it's the smart financial move, you need to understand that you're signing up for 7 years of wealth destruction before you even have a chance of coming out ahead. The smartest financial move for most people under 30 is to rent something affordable and invest the difference aggressively. Take that down payment money and put it in low-cost index funds. Take the money you save on maintenance, repairs, and property taxes and invest that too. After 7 years, compare your net worth to your friends who bought houses and prepare to be shocked by the difference. The 7-year rule reveals an uncomfortable truth about our financial system. The biggest purchases we make are often designed to benefit everyone except us. Banks make massive profits on those early interest payments. Real estate agents earn commissions whether buying makes sense for you or not, and the entire industry profits from keeping you trapped in this cycle. Understanding this rule gives you power. Power to make decisions based on math instead of emotions. Power to build real wealth instead of the illusion of wealth. Power to maintain your financial flexibility instead of tying yourself down with obligations that may not serve your best interests. The next time someone tells you that renting is throwing money away, remind them that paying interest is also throwing money away. Except when you rent, someone else deals with all the headaches that come with ownership. Your wealth building happens in your investment accounts, not in your walls.